Pleasant good morning, everyone. My name is Roger Evelyn. I am the chairman of the Buxton Falls Neighborhood Democratic Council, and also for today's purposes, I'm the chair of the meeting. I'd like to first say welcome to everyone here. We're hoping to have a very fruitful discussion. And at your disposal this morning, we have representatives from the government here to interact with you, listen to your concerns, and also give you some feedback as to how you can proceed with your issues. I know that many of you would have pressing issues, but could you please comply with the rules of the discussion? We will have a microphone that will be roving at that point in the program. But without further ado, let me introduce you to our panel. At the extreme right, we have Honorable Minister Crow, representing the Ministry of Housing. Right after him, we have another Honorable Minister representing the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sports, and that's Honorable Member Ramson. We also have Honorable Minister and Bishop Juan Edgel. We have our AG, Honorable Anil Nandalal. Of course, you know the Prime Minister. We have him here today as our speakers. We have as well from the Ministry of Health, Minister Frank Anthony. We have Ms. Onage Walden from Ministry of Tourism, and also within the Ministry of the Prime Minister, we have Honorable Member Mr. Kwame McCall. And last but not least, my minister for my area, Minister Darmla. Please, at this time, I'd like to open. Thank you very much. At this time, I'd like to open the floor to Mr. Nandalal.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairperson, Honorable Prime Minister, Acting President, Mr. Mark Phillips, my other Honorable, my other colleagues of Cabinet, respected elders, officials of the government of Guyana, brothers and sisters, comrades and friends. Let me, on behalf of the entire head table, echo the sentiments of welcome already expressed, and today hopefully we will have a very constructive engagement out of which important decisions can be made that would affect the lives and livelihood of this community and many neighboring communities. Let me begin by saying that our government is one that believes in community engagement and in taking governance and government to the people. We have done this in every region in our country, and we have done this in different communities within the different regions of our country. So I see it being peddled that this is an isolated visit, and I want to, from the beginning, reject that contention. You know that we have been in the community of Buxton constantly since we have assumed government from August the 2nd, 2022. Many of our ministers, many of them here, Minister Ramson, Minister Dharamlal, Prime Minister, myself, our Minister of Agriculture, we have been in this community. I have walked with you to clean Buxton. We distributed kite in Buxton. The President himself came here and launched that and spoke to you a couple of months ago. So this is not an isolated incident. We have a track record of a relationship that we have created in this community as we have done in other communities, and we intend to intensify this relationship and to bring fruits from this relationship. Secondly, we are not also oblivious to the fact that there have been recent incidents on the east coast of the Demerara of national concern. We are not oblivious of the violent conduct which have taken place across certain villages on the east coast of the Demerara. We are also not unaware that today some day of protest was planned in Buxton. And we decided to come here as we would normally do, also because of that incident, because the President led the charge when the incident culminated with violence at Monrepo. The President, the head of our government, came to Buxton and engaged Buxtonians. And we are here notwithstanding and because of those incidents, and because we need to engage you and need to intensify our engagements with you, we are here again. We are also here to provide information, update to you in relation to the incident that is believed to have triggered the violence to which I make reference. I say that to you up front because I want a candid interaction. We want a candid and frank discussion, because only if we talk the issues of our country thoroughly, honestly, and frankly, then we can find true, real, and lasting solutions to the problems. And that is what I hope this engagement will bring forth. So, as you know, we had informed you and the people of Guyana that the Police Complaints Authority, which is the authority designated by the law to investigate the conduct of policemen in this country, was in charge of the investigation into the shooting to death of Quindon Bacchus. We assured you that that is a statutory process over which the government has no influence or control. And we pleaded with you and Guyana to allow the system to work as contemplated and provided for by the law. The President had given a commitment that the report would be out by Monday. Last night, the report was made, a statement was made public by the chairperson of the Police Complaints Authority, by which the nation was informed that charges are recommended in respect of the shooting implicating 3 persons, all members of the Guyana Police Force. The statement also informed you that the next step of the legal process will be activated, and that is that report and the file will be transmitted to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, who will then advise on the institution of the relevant charges after that officer would have reviewed the report and the file. That is also another independent institution under the Constitution over which government and politicians have no influence whatsoever. I can assure you that that office holder has begun work since yesterday on the matter, and some public disclosures in relation to the charges that are recommended or would be recommended would be made public later today. So the system installed by the law is at work, and charges are forthcoming in relation to that shooting. And that is all we are asking in the government for, that you don't act precipitatively, you don't act unlawfully, and you don't fall prey to instigation, to incitement, and to encouragement to do unlawful and illegal acts. I want to take this opportunity also to thank the law-abiding citizens of this community and all the communities on the east coast of Demerara who rejected out of hand the very persuasive and tempting incitement and encouragement to which you were subject by elements who wanted to create greater disaster and greater mayhem and greater violence on the east coast of Demerara. I am aware that they stopped at almost every village on the east coast of Demerara, including Buxton, and they tried to bring you out on the road to join them in their conspiracy of fiery lawlessness. And you withstood the temptation, and you rejected their attempt to ensnare you in that unlawful enterprise. I also want to assure you, as law-abiding citizen, I know you would like to see the law being applied with full force and effect in relation to those who violated the law so wantonly during that exercise. I want to assure you that the law will be applied with full force and effect, because that is the duty of the state, to maintain law and order within the realm of this country, and to ensure that every single citizen is protected from criminality and protected from illegality. And the state will not falter in that duty. That being said, I would like to encourage you to raise all the issues of concerns that you have, both in relation to what I said regarding the incident on the east coast of Demerara over the past week, as well as issues that are affecting your community, because that is the main purpose of this exercise. And that is why we have such a broad-based panel here, comprising of various ministers and public officers within the various ministries, so that we can adequately, or as far as possible, try to answer the issues that you raise and as they relate to the various ministers and ministries who are here. Once again, I want to thank you for being part of this engagement, and I will pause here for the time being. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for those comments, Minister Andala. I'd like now to invite Dr. Frank Anthony, Minister of Health, for some comments.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Honorable Mark Phillips, Prime Minister, and performing the duties of President, Cabinet colleagues, friends all. I'm extremely happy to be here at this meeting and at this ground, because the last time I was here, a couple of years ago, we had a very exciting football match here. And I recall getting persons from this community and from some other communities on the East Coast, and we were able to have this exciting football match. And you know, one of the things that that match brought out is that we have so much in common, and that when we play together, we ignore all these other things that people would like to use to divide us. And we need to have many more of those types of activities, many more, because we shared so much in common that we need to use that to mold ourselves together, because this country needs us all to work together for common aspirations. Apart from what my colleague Minister Nandala would have said, we are in very, very exciting times. We now, for the first time, have resources that can take this country to another level, much of what maybe our ancestors dream about, but never had the resources to accomplish. We are on that trajectory now for development. And when we look on this East Coast, there's so much that is going to be happening. So much. I can speak about health. And when we think about health on the East Coast, we have so much developmental plans. For the first time, we are going to build a regional hospital on the East Coast, so that no longer people would have to go to Georgetown to get a surgery done. It would be done right here on the East Coast. And the construction of that hospital would start in another 2 months' time. And when we finish the hospital, it would have a modern accident and emergency. It would have new labs. It would have 75-bed inpatient facility, 2 modern theaters. It would have an imaging suite that would have CT scans and digital x-rays and everything that you need to practice modern healthcare. So instead of going to Georgetown, you can come to this regional hospital. Not only that, we know that a lot of people on the East Coast, that one of the illnesses that affect you would be diabetes. And many of the older persons who are sitting in the audience, one time or another, can say that they suffer from diabetes. We are going to build, and we have already started to build, a diabetic center that is going to be a one-stop shop, meaning that everything relating to diabetes, you would be able to go there and get all the advice and all the treatment that you need. So whether you need to come in and get nutritional advice, that would be given. If you need to go and check your eyes, it would happen right there. If you have, for some reason, you have some sore that is not healing, you would be able to get treatment right there. And as I speak, we are putting the finishing touches to that facility. And before the year is over, we'll be able to open that facility right here on the east coast of Demerara so that care can be improved. And there are many, many other things that we can look at. We have started to do a lot of new work at the Georgetown Hospital. And we are going to renovate the hospital so that we can do a lot of more complicated and sophisticated surgery. In addition to that, at Ogle, we are also in the process of setting up a 256-bed hospital. This is going to be for children who would have all kinds of complications that you cannot manage them in the regular facility. So this is for high-risk children and high-risk mothers. Some of you would know from time to time we would see that there are children who would need special services. For example, they would need cardiac surgery, but we cannot provide that type of surgery at the Georgetown Hospital. We once had a cardiac program, pediatric cardiac program, at the Georgetown Hospital. But unfortunately, over the last couple of years, that program was dismantled. We are now rebuilding that program. And when we finish this new hospital, one of the services that would be provided would be pediatric cardiac surgery for any child that requires such surgery. And of course, it will be free of cost. And while we talk about the East Coast, similar things are happening in every region of our country, every single region. And apart from looking at all of that, we also want to make sure that persons who are sick with HIV can get access to treatment. Persons who are at risk for HIV can get testing. Persons who are sick with other illnesses can get testing. And look at what we have been able to accomplish with COVID-19. If we weren't fast in giving out vaccines, if we weren't fast in making sure that we have places when people get sick that we can care for them, then a lot more people would have gotten sick and a lot more people would have died. But because we invested, because we made sure that we put the money to help the welfare of our people, we are seeing these results. This government would like to see people live long and healthy lives. And the only way we will be able to do that is to make sure that we have world-class health care. And that is what we are aiming to deliver. And in every sector, all my colleagues sitting at this table here, each one of them can get up and talk about what they are doing in their sectors, because we want to lift this country and the quality of life for every single Guyanese. That is what we're about. And so, what we need to do is we need to come together in our villages, in our streets, in our community, to make sure that we are able to take advantage of the opportunities that are now becoming available to us. There's no reason why a child should not go to school today, because we have nursery, primary, and secondary school. And those who want to access additional forms of education, there are also that is available in terms of the Gold Scholarship. There's no excuse why people should not have a good education, none whatsoever. And this is across the board. What we need is for people to take advantage of these opportunities. And there are many, many other things. So today, if you don't know about these opportunities, today is a day when we can react and interact and make sure that when you leave here, you understand all the different government programs that we have and how you, as a citizen of these communities around here, can take advantage of them. And we have a lot of technical people in your midst. so that we can align you with these technical people so that you can know where to go and how to access these types of services. What we are doing here today, and as Anil would have said, it's not only here. We want to go to every community and talk to people about these opportunities, because this is very, very exciting times for this country. We are going to be the leaders in many areas in the Caribbean. And right now, a lot of people are looking at Guyana to see what we are doing, how we are doing it, so that they can follow us. What we need is more unity in our community. What we need is for us to gel together to achieve this vision. You know what they said, the old saying? One hand can't clap. You need both hands to clap. And if we are going to achieve these dreams that all of us have, if we are going to make this country better, if we are going to make it more prosperous, then all of us would have to clap together. And when we do so, we will be able to achieve all those dreams. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister, for those pertinent comments. I'd now like to invite some comments from Minister Edgell.
Honorable Prime Minister, performing duties as President, Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips, my cabinet colleagues at the head table, NDC Chair, my respected elders, and I would like to highlight our young people who are in our midst this morning. I think we need to give them a big round of applause, all the youths that are here this morning. It's certainly a joy to be here with my colleagues to share in this consultation. And I'm sure all you are aware I'm no stranger to Buxton. I was here last night worshiping with you. So I'm glad that we could be together in this meeting today. But from the standpoint of development, there is a well-known fact that two things go together. They call them the inseparable twins: peace and development. Peace and development could never be separated. In order for people to invest, work, and put things in place, they need an environment where they could come and work. For example, when we were doing a road in this area not so long ago, I myself had to come and calm some things down because people were very concerned about what is happening. And that communication, understanding that lends to good environment and promotes development is what is important. By no means any one of us should dismiss today's event as tokenism. My colleagues have already addressed it. This is very important. You have an opportunity today to be heard. Some people would say, Minister, I've been trying to reach you. Here. Today you have an opportunity to reach them, to say what is your issue. The other thing that I want to emphasize is that development in Guyana has been taking place in a non-discriminatory manner. When we came to government, in my sector, public works, everybody here have a road that needs to be fixed, I'm sure. And while Minister Zulfikar is working with you On the drainage and irrigation side, sorry he's not here today, but he's been doing a lot of work here to support the farmers and getting you to the backlands. One of the big issues is access to your farms, and when you get your produce, access to markets. But you could look and you could see the development deficit was so huge across the country when we came to office that what we did, we engaged communities, and in every community we started to do some work. I'll be the first to admit more needs to be done. And we have to find ways and means of ensuring more. I can give you an example. When we were finished fixing the main highway that is now developed, we had some savings at the end of the project. The government of Guyana added in another $600+ million along with the monies that were saved on that project. And what we did, we call them connector roads. So rather than just doing the main highway all the way up to Belfield, we started doing roads in villages that will connect to the main highway. Buxton was a beneficiary of that. Church of God Road was able to go all the way out to the seawall. We were able to do other roads all the way to the railway embankment. And I know the concerns that were raised. We want to see roads beyond the railway embankment being fixed. But we were able to do that. Through the NDCs, we consulted, and we were able to do work in the NDC. And there is more to be done. Just last week, when we signed an international contract, I went through the whole works, what we did in Region 1, Region 2, Region 3, and Region 4. We don't just treat Region 4 as a broad area. East Coast, East Bank, and Georgetown. And East Coast is slated for special attention in terms of infrastructural development, roads, bridges, and the rest of it. But one of the good things that I could highlight to you is that we are seeking right now to upgrade the entire railway embankment from David Street, Kitty, Sheriff and David Street, Kitty, all the way out to Enmore. And one of the things that we are doing is that we are replacing the aqua panel bridges, or the steel bridges. And we want to be able to open up the railway embankment for greater traffic flow, because that is to complement industrial development that is to take place on the East Coast, which will provide real employment for people of the East Coast. You would have recalled that we engaged a local company to put infrastructure in place to support oil and gas on the East Coast. And that is because we wanted to ensure people from the East Coast get jobs, including Buxton. To facilitate that kind of a traffic, the haulers and all the other things that will be part of that, we need to upgrade the infrastructure. So even in the morning, if there's a bottleneck of traffic, we will be able to have other alternatives and access. So we are doing the main roads, we are improving the village roads in conjunction with the RDC and the NDC, because the RDC also has a roads program that they are doing, which we sign off to and we support. The NDC is doing some maintenance work, but at the national level, we also want to do that on our miscellaneous roads program. On the East Coast, our miscellaneous roads program for 2022, and that's all the NDCs in 2022. Pleasant Industry all the way up to Mahika is about $2 billion that we'll be doing in work in villages. And some of you would have seen the roads that are already advertised in the newspapers calling for contractors to bid, and that process is ongoing. Farm to market access roads in support of the Ministry of Agriculture and Drainage and Irrigation. We are continuing to work with them. Because ultimately, like I said in the budget speech of 2022 when I spoke, you can't eat roads, but roads make you eat. And what the Irfanali-led administration is seeking to do is to provide opportunities. Yes, we have to come in, help vulnerable groups, and that's what we'll be doing. That's what we have been doing, whether it's a children's grant, helping small businesses, working with pensioners, increasing welfare for single moms, and so on. But when you're providing an opportunity where you could expand your farm, get your furniture shop going, get your block making enterprise going so the truck could come in and deliver the sand and the cement and the people could come and buy from you, or you could open your bakery, or whatever the situation that you've been doing, we have to be able to give you access. And the building of roads, drainage, and bridges are important. All of you know when the road body taxi man want 3 times the fare to get in there. And that has been your complaint. And even when you own your own car, you just come and tell me the front fender get knocked off, the wheel bend, you got change spring so much. So getting access is what is important. And I want to let you know today, as part of this outreach, and we could say that clearly, our commitment to you and every village on the East Coast and all the people across the country, rural, urban, or hinterland, is that we want to be able to put in place that infrastructure to ensure that development takes place. What we need is that communication, that dialogue, peace that will promote development. And when the economic pie expands and there is greater development and we all could get more, we could be able to have a stable environment. So I would like to just make these few comments, and I want to thank you all for coming out in your numbers today. Thank you, Buxton. Thank you for participating, and thank you for engaging. And we look forward, just like we did in South Georgetown, where my colleague, Minister Kroll, led that engagement, where there's active engagement with the people of South Georgetown to work in advancing their own development. We look forward for that engagement with the people of Buxton today. Thank you all, and God bless you very much.
Thanks for your comments, Minister. I know all of us are anxious to get to the portion of the agenda where you can have your queries answered. But just before that, can we get some comments from the Honorable Prime Minister, Minister Mark Phillips?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Thank you to the people of Buxton for coming out in your large numbers this morning. Give yourself a round of applause. Today is the day to discuss development for Buxton. And if we talk in development, we have to do away with the detractors of development. I have listened last night, almost whole night, to the detractors who wanted to derail this session today. And your turnout is sending a strong message to the detractors who never wanted this to happen. Give yourself another round of applause. This will happen in every village on the East Coast, every village on the West Coast, every village in the hinterland, all over Guyana. We are going out and meet you in your community. No longer will we depend on social media. Let them stay in their foxholes and use social media to detract us, and they will not succeed.
whether the foxhole is located in New York or somewhere on the East Coast here, as a government, as a people, they must not succeed. And you know why? Now is the time for development in Guyana, and Buxton will not be left out. No village in Guyana will be left out of the development. And that is one Guyana. When we say one Guyana, we talk about development for all the people of Guyana, wherever you are. And we don't care who you voted for. And if I sound emotional this morning, forgive me. Because I believe that now is the time for us as a people with a resource that is giving us the revenue that we never had before to bring development for all the people of Guyana. We cannot delay development. Don't let us allow anybody to divide us. This is a democracy. They have a voice. They can go on social media, they could talk as much as they want. But don't let them divide us. Let us keep focused, people. You know, the PPPC governments from 1992 to now has always put forward a people-centered development plan for Guyana. We struggled. We had to deal with detractors before, but you know what? From 2019, we start harvesting a resource known as oil and gas. And that has given us revenue that we never had before. And this government has decided that with that revenue, we will transform Guyana together with the people. All our programs are people-centered. Last week, or early this week, the president talked about the gas to shore energy program. That is a people-centered program. That is a program that will result in cheaper electricity for all Guyanese. That is a program that will help us to get electricity to all the underserved and unserved areas of Guyana. Cheap gas is coming from that program too, to the point where it will be so cheap that you come by 2025, when you buy your bottle of gas, you will consider it free. It will be so cheap. Yes, dream, and it will become a reality. That is what's going to happen to Guyana. Electricity for all of us, and we'll be paying half the price that we're paying now. That is a people-centered energy program. Buxton will benefit from it. All the villages all over Guyana will benefit from it. And you know what? The savings from that program will help us to reach all the remote and hinterland areas to deliver similar electricity power for all those locations. People of Buxton, you have a glorious history. I'm a student of African Guyanese history. And as I told the people at Golden Grove only 2 days ago, all the books on African Guyanese history, I will have read all those books. Buxton is an example, an exemplary village coming out of the post-emancipation village movement. This was a village that set an example. This was a village with many educators, including your parents. Many educators were produced by this village, and they educated people throughout the length and breadth of Guyana. They even migrated and educated people overseas. So what we're doing here today is to talk development for Buxton. Development for all the villages in Guyana. But we choose Buxton to start this process. because we know of Buxton. We know of the history of Buxton. We know of you, the people of Buxton. Once you're united, and once you remain united, you could lift not only your village, but the neighboring villages and be an example to all of Guyana. And that's why we're here, to start this discussion on development. And it will leave here with us, and it will go to all the other villages. I could keep on talking. I could keep on talking. He wants to talk, and I want to give him the mic. Come, please.
Buxton goes, so goes the country. This was a saying that went all the way back to 1952 at Contemporary Hall, that Buxton was the leader of this country back then. And I'm hoping that we are here to ensure that when we pass away, we have left something for the next generation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for validating everything I said just now. And let the development begin. Let us start the ball rolling with the discussion. Now is the time for you to talk, people of Buxton, because as you heard just now, as Buxton goes, so goes the country. This is a country that is embarking on a process of transformative development for all the people of Guyana. One Guyana. So, Buxton, let's hear you now. Thank you very much.
Yes, with that, we are now at the public engagement portion of the exercise. We will have someone with a microphone. I can see someone requesting the microphone over there.
Yes, okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mr. Mark Phillips and the rest of the colleagues. We welcome you to Buxton. Now, I have a few issues. I'm a single parent of 3 children, and they don't have their father passed away. And I've applied for land at housing since 2011, and I've been keep going, and they keep renewing, and sometimes with the paper I have to go pay to get it renewed back and so. And I keep asking, I try to apply at Food for the Poor to get a house. And because I don't have the land, I cannot get the house. And they keep putting me on and on and on, pushing me back. I asked to speak to the minister at housing, and nobody, they only give me date. That is one of my issues. The other issues I have is that since I'm a single parent and I'm trying, I would like for you guys to please assist me in opening a little business, maybe a livestock business, something to do. Since we know that, well, you know, you're trying to sell on the embankment, which is illegal, or so, and they need to move it and stuff. If you can assist us in opening business as young people out there, right, to develop ourselves, especially single mothers, right, because we need the help. We need the help. The next thing is that with the school voucher, right now cost of living is very, very high. It is so high that simple finding food for the children to go to school, some morning you wake up and you wish you never wake up, right? And we see, I saw it on social media, they're saying that I think they said they're saying that they would like to raise the school, they call it again, the money, right? And now when I hear they say nothing about it, and we wish if you could help raise it, because gas is expensive, taxi fare to send the children to school, food stuff. The farm, we can't plan, because I have a farm in the back dam. The road is terrible. The road is so terrible that sometimes you take about 3-4 hours to reach in the back dam. And we don't have a proper road, right, to go in and bring out our produce. Right now the place is bare bush because we can't go because of the rainy weather. So we are asking for these assistance. The next thing is that we were made to understand that you would have assisted us in a feeding program for the kids, for the children, and because some of the children cannot afford to get breakfast at home because of the situation that we are experiencing right now. And we just wish if you could put that in power for us to get us for September, that it will come true. And that is all. Thank you guys, and have a good day.